Sid, our new young CFP, came into my office with Lisa, his first client. Lisa was seething. On my whiteboard, Sid projected a graph with dots for investment portfolios compared in expected return and risk. I was trained to select a client's portfolio this way, he said. That's crazy, Lisa explained. Those are trick labels. Expected return is return I should not expect. I nodded. She was right. And risk, she continued, that's a scare word to divert my attention from my future goals to my fear of short-term wobble. Ha! I chuckled, short-term wobble. Then she concluded, from this graph we have no idea which portfolios offer best prospects for my dollar plan and future goals, or which are worse. I turned to Sid and asked him where he got that graph. I knew the answer. It's called The Efficient Frontier, he answered. The university investment textbooks teach selecting investments this way. This graph, I said to Lisa, is techie measures of just 1 year % probabilities. It's missing most of what's needed to compare the portfolios for you. It's missing your dollar goal, your dollar plan. In fact, it's completely missing dollars, years, and effects of compounding along the way. Can you convert this graph into what we need? Lisa asked. Yes, indeed, I answered. We'll advance this so-called efficient frontier into a practical goal frontier. Here again is the theoretical university graph, which we'll start with. We'll keep the horizontal axis, but label it for what it really is. It's really a techie measure, return rate, standard deviation. What will completely change is the vertical axis. We'll make it much taller and make it represent what counts to you, probability of meeting your future dollar goals. Neat, Lisa exclaimed. On this graph, higher is safer, better for my future. Real risk is lower chances of meeting my future goals. On this graph, I continued, for your plan and goals, the frontier portfolio dots look like this. This, I proclaimed with a flourish, is the kind of graph investors and their advisors need. It's a goal frontier. Exactly what I want to see, Lisa proclaimed. Now I can see that for my plan and goals, portfolio 6 is terrible, way down low, very little chance of meeting my goals. The others are much higher, much better. Portfolio 10 looks best of all. Right on that projected graph, Lisa drew a hand pointing to that highest portfolio 10. That made me very glad the graph was projected on my whiteboard, not my wall. I cautioned her, before final selection, we should compare the highest portfolios more closely on 2 other graphs. I quietly cleaned her hand off my whiteboard. Then she asked, how did you get the information, do the calculations, and produce this graph? It requires the right software system, I told her. We use Portfolio Pathfinder. How high is the probability of portfolio 10, she asked. Can you read it on the graph? Here, I showed her, is how the graph looks on the computer. It has a toolbox beside it. I clicked in the toolbox to move to portfolio 10 and show its position on the graph like this. Nice, she said. Probability of meeting my goal is over 90%. And as a side benefit, the horizontal axis shows that portfolio 10 has only 8.4% of short-term wobble. What's in that portfolio 10, she asked. Stocks? Bonds? How much of each? I clicked in the toolbox again to show her 4 similar allocations, each right at the portfolio 10 point on the graph. Wow, she said. For me, the best portfolios are largely bonds. After a pause, Lisa asked me if, on this graph, we can see other portfolios that we define ourselves. Yes, indeed, I replied. Here's a set of model portfolios that Sid and I defined. And with these two, we can move to any one and see its position on the graph. And we can also add any 2 for a particular investor, such as his present and planned portfolios, and move to either of those. Lisa sat back and then asked, why don't the university textbooks and courses teach investment this way for guiding people? They should, I growled. 99% of all the investors in America are people for whom the most important goals are dollars for many years ahead, for retirement and other goals. But the university investment textbooks and courses are instead suited for the other 1%, the financial industry and academic theorists.